Hi, folks. Thanks for joining us. I appreciate you guys being here. Uh, I see we have quite a few people in the room already, and appreciate you joining us. April, are you here? I'm so glad to have April's story on our channel. Kimberly, welcome. Glad to see you here. Always cool to see you here. And I'm going to be in Tennessee in a few days, I believe. Anita Lawless, you've been here before. Allie Snide, thank you. Thank you for being here. So I'm looking at these and I'm trying to think of the names and remember what city or what state they were in. And sometimes I don't do so good with that. But glad you're here. And I'm sure April's here somewhere, right? There she is. Okay. So April, thank you very much for being being with us. Suggestion. Up yours. Suggestion. I don't know why we get that. For some reason, I sometimes get this message that the audio bit rate is too low. And I don't understand that. That makes no sense to me. So anyway, here is Hammer Davis. Yes, sir. Uh, Anita Lawless is from Texas, and how do we know you, Anita? Is it from live events or have we met in person? Truly blessed by three, Janelle from San Antonio, Texas, and Lisa says yes, Laura. I agree. The message was amazing. Yeah, it was is very cool the amount of time that she spent on on the importance of having naloxone in the house, how recognizing that it is naloxone that's important. Narcan has naloxone in it. That is what that's the active ingredient in all of them. From this YouTube channel, plus we're friends on Facebook. All right, cool. All right, so April talked about administering naloxone, and she said that there's videos on YouTube about it, and there are. There's several videos, two real people videos, and one cartoon just on our channel about administering naloxone. And the cartoon, here's what I can tell you about the cartoon. We're not doing that again. Cartoon was crazy amount of work. So, uh, nope, we got people who can do a cartoon. But that's something. So, but it's on our channel. All of them is on our channel, and they are wonderfully useful. And you guys are welcome to share the links on your Facebook page or Instagram or any of that. Show it in schools. It's important stuff. Truly blessed by three. I keep Narcan on hand at home. Holy cow! So do I. Look at there. It's right here. Just like that. I can put my hand on it. I even have a. I have a. Uh, I have an empty. And the reason I have an empty is because we use them when we do presentations in schools. We show the audience how it works, what it's like. It's just a little mist. You jam it up the person's nose, and that's it. We let our audience see it when we do these presentations. And so we wind up with some empties. This is not Narcan brand naloxone. This is actually Cloxado. And they're all the same. They're all the same, except Cloxado is actually a higher dose than any of the others. Cloxado is an 8 milligram dose, and all of the others are a 4 milligram dose. And that really matters. All right, so I'm gonna do this little thing here. I'm gonna scoot over like this, and watch. This is gonna be cool, right there. How about that? There is one, two, three, four, five, six examples of naloxone. Narcan is at the bottom, right over the words "one says." Right? Yeah, that's Narcan, and just to the left of that is Cloxado. To the right of that is Walgreens brand. Walgreens, Walgreens brand. So, and a couple of other brands. It's all the same dose except for Cloxado, which is a higher dose. And the Journal of the American Medical Association says that a higher dose may work more quickly. And when you're talking about hypoxia, not enough oxygen to the brain, holy cow, seconds matter. There's been some harm reduction people who have made posts on Facebook and elsewhere that say things like, say no to Narcan. I mean, sorry, say no to Cloxado. And the reason it says that is because Cloxado is a higher dose. And and in my mind, that is profoundly stupid. If all you have is Cloxado, let them die. Is that what you're saying? Really? You know how many times someone being revived with naloxone requires two or three or more doses to bring them to. Say no. Oh, that is. Watch out for people who think that way. Really. So anyway, that's probably enough of that, right? Right. We'll just move back on to what we were talking about. April, you are God's warrior, says Kimberly, and that's cool. That seems reasonable. April is on it like a rat on a Cheeto. She is out there. She is making things happen, getting the message to people in her community and other communities. She's helping people all over the country shape their message for their area. It's really awesome. So let's see who else we have here. Allie says, hello, Kimberly. Kristen is here. Hi, Glenn and family. Hello, Kristen. Thank you for joining us. Hit the like button, peeps. That's cool. That's cool. I haven't even gotten to the point where I'm pushing the like button, but holy cow, there's 24 people in the room right now, and there's only 4 likes. Come on, thumbs up. There's another one. We got 5 now. Hmm. Okay then. Well, anyway, so folks, tell me some of the things that stood out to you about this story about episode 287. There's some things I feel like April is such a strong force in fentanyl awareness efforts because she is Yeah, I don't understand what's going on here. Sorry. Because she's doing so much. There's a and there's Lisa, and Lisa's story is going to be very soon too. Maybe later this week. I'm going to be getting back on the road in a couple of days, and once I get on the road, everything goes weird. As we'll have timelines out there that people will be working on. Our wonderful editors will be working on them, but it just gets a little crazy when I'm on the road. So Kristen says the best thing you can do for your addicted daughter is take her to free AA meetings. Don't take her to the 98% failure rate at the rehabs. Don't be like my older sister, 10 rehabs and no recovery. Carla is here. Do you have any Texas Pictures coffee cups? Yeah, they're on our website, Carla. And so they're there, and the like button is up to 9. All right, folks, thanks. I appreciate that. So we do have some merchandise, which is weird to me, but people ask for it, and our YouTube partner manager said we should have merchandise. So we have merchandise. We have some T-shirts that are about fentanyl awareness, and T-shirts about that have the Texas Pictures logo and stuff like that. Coffee cups and hoodies, pullover hoodies, no zipper, no revolutionary stuff like that, but hoodies. So that's cool. Self cleaning, yes, the self cleaning coffee mug. If you're wondering, this is what Brad's referring to, the self cleaning coffee mug. You can drink coffee in it all day long and keep doing so for months, and it never gets dirty. Now, I just drink black coffee, but I don't know, it just stays clean. I think that's probably why the mug is so expensive. That's my thinking. T-shirts on cannabis. Hmm. Yeah, see, we just have to make them. T-shirts on cannabis. Maybe T-shirts on domestic violence. Maybe stuff. I feel like we're a little behind, and we're kind of venturing into another topic on this trip. 31 in the room, and we're up to 9 likes. Black coffee with cinnamon. Lise, thank you for being here. You missed the premiere, I guess, and so you can see it anytime now. It's on the channel and available. So you guys that are members, you have to remember that only members can see the member content. And so if the thumbnail says something about members, or it's got yellow text, or it says member advance access or something like that, posting it on social media is only going to work if the person going to watch it is a member, or if you're trying to encourage people to become members. So I don't remember that. How do you keep that youthful? Oh, Brad. I think it's you, Brad. I think maybe you hallucinate just a bit. Maybe. So, Kristen said, my mom makes her booze and drinks it all day in the kitchen while cooking. Makes her booze? What does that mean? Does she uh, make her own? She has the denial. Don't even know I am lying. I just want to be a member. I'm just in a hardship. Lisa, I just very glad you're here. Being a member is nice because being a member helps us a bit. Being a member, it gives us a stable boost that helps us cover the costs of production. I Cranberry liquor. Ew. Hmm. Not for me. So, okay, y'all are getting ahead of me now. I'm losing my place. Teen Challenge is a 15-month program and highest success rate in the country on rehabs. Prayers for the suffering addicts from Lisa Shoemaker. Here's the thing about rehabs and organizations like AA. All of them have some success for some people. Some more than others. Some with a longer track market than others. Another wow. I'm just having trouble thinking about what I was trying to say. A longer track record. And so critical analysis is reasonable on any options that help with recovery. AA, there's a lot of people that we talk to who hate AA, who ridicule it and criticize it. There's a lot of people who praise AA also. And one of the people who praised AA that we interviewed that has a lot of credibility with me is a physician, a psychiatrist. His name's Dr. Robert DuPont, and he's a former White House drug czar. He was the second White House drug czar under Nixon and Ford. So there's a couple of things about that. First, under Nixon and Ford. So what that means is he's old as dirt. But what that means is that he's beyond the point of holding things back because he's got a job to protect. He says things just the way they are. Doesn't hold back. He's done research on addiction for over 50 years and he's still doing it. Wonderfully sharp guy. Very insightful, and there's a couple of stories on our channel in the addiction recovery section that are made up from segments of the interviews that we did with him. And he's a great guy to talk to, and he says that AA is one of the best tools out there. And what he bases that on is the importance of support. And there's a lot of support in AA. And there's a lot of flexibility in AA. If you go to an AA meeting and it's not quite, if you go to an AA meeting and it isn't quite suited for you, just go to a different meeting. They're different. They're different. The meeting at one facility, usually the ones I've been to are churches. Uh, the meeting at one facility may be totally different from the other because of the group of people that are a part of it, because of how it's run, because of who knows what. But just because one doesn't work, just shop around, go to other meetings until you find one that's a good fit for you. I hear that from a lot of people. You can't just condemn AA because you go to one meeting at one place with one set of people, and if you don't connect with them, you give up. You can't do that. Go go to another meeting or do something else. You got to make the action though. You got to make the effort. All right, so let me see where I'm at. Don't even know. I'm lying. I want to be a member. I just okay, least. So my point about the membership thing. Very grateful for our members, but we don't make any content for members that isn't available to everyone else because our content it's important to me, and it's important that our content reaches as large of an audience as it can. And we wouldn't ever allow something like membership prevent our audience from having access to important information. I'm sorry, I have national news going on up here, and I wind up looking up at it. I know I should turn it off. I should, and maybe, but I'm feeling it's pretty entertaining to watch some of what's happening, especially in Washington right now. Become a BillO'Reilly.com premium member and get a free book. Maybe we should do free books. Anyway, so you said I'm going to keep your daughter in my prayers. Prayers to Kristen's mom. She makes cranberry liquor. Hmm. Cranberry liquor. That doesn't sound pleasant at all. So, uh, are you going to D.C.? Oops. Uh, uh, speaking where? Okay. Trying to catch back, get back to where we were. Is AA different from AAA? Did you really just ask me that, Brad? Is Alcoholics Anonymous different from the American Automobile Association? What do you think, Brad? Where are you going to have recovery series again? We're always doing all of them. When we have a summit somewhere, typically there's one topic that is most that's the priority for the series. It'll be mostly about fentanyl, or mostly about domestic violence, or mostly about cannabis induced psychosis, something. Hmm. April says, hello, Carrie, and thank you for being here. Cindy, hi. Glad you are here. Allie says, Kristen, prayers and legs. Whew, over my head. It's me. I just don't know how to interpret that. Very sorry, but I'll work on that. So, howdy, Kim. Howdy, Glenn. Laura, celebrate recovery is another option. I'm sure it is. I'm not very familiar with celebrate recovery beyond hearing the name, just like I did there. But there are a lot of options, and there's a lot of way to evaluate options. Participating in events associated with whatever organization is one way. Google is another way. Seeing what people say, good and bad, about whatever option, AA, celebrate recovery, uh, some church based option, whatever. There's common threads in a lot of them that are really just the simple people being together thing. People being together when you're with someone you're accountable to and that you're accountable for, it creates this kind of synergy that helps people achieve their goals. Truly, blessedly, three, Brian speaking where? I must have missed something with that. Uh, Brian speaking where? Hey, Cynthia, Kimberly says, Kristen says, AAA, All Angel Anonymous is a group we started where we get to read Bible and other books that are welcome. We're a mixed meeting, mostly women come to our group. We will love till you learn. That's good. That's good. I like that. When I was in here's a stupid when I was younger. That's a stupid phrase because that's all you got is when you were younger. That's it. Okay, sorry, I get distracted. Groups like that. That sounds like a great group, Kristen. Allie Snide, Brad speaking where? Brad, you speaking somewhere? Are you? Hmm. To love yourself. That's vital. Absolutely vital. Uh oh. Uh oh. Dad got Brad to laugh. Dad got Carla to laugh. Glenn. So you think Tristan's story will be this week? You said. Now don't get all worked up about that. We're gonna try. It is close to next on the list. And what that means is, like right now, there's probably three or four stories that are somewhere near close to done. I'm getting this message. Why? Sorry. Just give me a second here. I don't understand why that happens. Anyway, all right, we're just gonna let it go. All right, so Glenn, you think Tristan's story this week is that I am needing to know because we're planning on getting together at the hotel and watching it in the lobby. Well, gosh, I don't know. We have gotten to some of the stories from this most recent trip really quick, quicker than usual. And I can't it's not just me working on these. There's several editors. I'm the last editor on virtually all of them. Sometimes I'm the only editor, sometimes not. And so I just I don't know what's going to show up in the queue next. I don't know what's going to be at that stage where it's ready for me first. I just don't know. We don't we don't rush our editors because if we did, they mistakes would get by us and dates would be wrong, right? April. So I think it'll be soon. There's there's three that are close, and Tristan's story is one of them. Yeah, I'm sorry, I had no clue, Brad. I think everyone's aware you don't have a clue. So I feel like I missed something with this liqueur. With all this banter going on in the chat, we do have a AAA recovery group. I didn't know. So whoever asked if we're going to do more recovery stories, the recovery stories, they are vitally important to me, and we don't turn them away whenever we're doing any kind of storytelling summit. Anyone who signs up to share whatever kind of story is fine. We have had fentanyl story, recovery story, domestic violence, recovery, fentanyl, domestic, bouncing back and forth all in the course of a single day at a single location. I particularly remember one such location was in Phoenix, but it's very common. It happens a lot, and I think that's great. I really love having the recovery stories on our channel because the recovery stories are a great thing to be able to point to when someone makes a comment like on a fentanyl story, and it is someone who is struggling with their recovery or someone who is in long-term recovery and just likes talking about it, learning about it, or someone who just wishes they were in recovery. And so it's great to be able to tell people we also have these stories on recovery. And part of what makes them great is that they're happy ending stories. And that's a big deal. All right. So I'm working on trying to get my certificate for substance abuse and alcohol. That sounds like an awesome thing. It seems to me like you are definitely well suited to be doing that. That you are so active in the awareness community and the recovery community. I think that's a great place for you to be, a great place for you to be working toward. That's awesome. I didn't know. Truly blessed says I didn't know about the DV content. And we have domestic violence, human trafficking, cannabis induced psychosis, addiction recovery, fentanyl, and I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting something. Huh. Anyway, Kim, that is great, says Lisa. No matter what program an addict goes into, they have to want to recover. That's the critical thing. That's the most important thing to continue to just hammer home, to really drive the point home, because it is such a that mindset is what really matters, is where your head is at in terms of that goal. If you really are embracing the goal, it is much easier to run with it. So, Cindy says, great to see everyone. Kristen says, celebrate recovery forces you to choose Jesus as your higher power. AA suggests we pick our own higher power, not the hater, judgmental God from our childhood. Hmm. Okay. Cool. What about relapse? What about a relapse series? Yeah. Yeah, mindset is critical. I'm lost. What about a relapse series? And I think a relapse series would be great. There's a lot of work involved in all of our stories. A lot. Every story gets somewhere between 4 and 8 hours of editing time. Just me and a computer, or another editor and a computer first, and then me and a computer doing a little tweak things, because there's little tweaks that are important to me, and it's my channel, so I'm going to do what I want. But, uh, there's a lot of work, because the stories are important to us. They are so important to us, because they are a lifeline for a lot of people. So to compromise anywhere in the production process isn't just cheating. It is disrespectful to the story and to the audience, I believe. Shawneen, haven't seen you here in a while. Or maybe I've just forgotten because my brain is so full. Either could be the case. I don't know. But good to see you here. And yeah, there is a lot of overlap from topic to topic, like fentanyl poisoning and addiction recovery. There's a lot of overlap there for sure. Um, Addiction and human trafficking, addiction and domestic violence, cannabis induced psychosis and addiction, cannabis induced psychosis and fentanyl. There's all these connections running all different directions. And so as we do more of these stories and more of these different topics, we see more and more of that. So addiction recovery, that there's an addiction recovery story that's coming soon as well. Yeah, there's an addiction recovery story that is coming. That's one of those other three. So that's where we're at right now. I'm going to speak about not only losing a granddaughter, but feeling losing a daughter also. That's really awesome, Brad. You know, when if there's anything I can do to help you get your, do your presentation, organize it, or whatever. If there's anything I can do to help you, you just let me know. My goal is to stay clean, says Kim. And that's an awesome goal. Allie says, don't forget to hit the like for Glenn. We are up to 15 likes. We have more than 50 people in the room and 15 likes. 15's a lot, even though there's 50 plus people in the room. That's awesome. Lee says mine has spoke that a few times and it's so scary. Hmm. April says, oh, I'm so sorry, Brad. I find I myself want to live for the rest of my family. Everyone is different when it comes to grief. Sending his for you and her sweet self, it does hurt terribly. So, April, a thing that stands out to me is I myself want to live for the rest of my family. Everyone is different. I hear that, I read that, but I also think about all that you do for other people, giving out naloxone, giving presentations, having these events, doing all of these important things that are for more than your family, but they are spectacular for your family because they are such important lessons. They're so important in terms of reinforcing good values. It's not just the lesson about, don't do drugs, but the lesson about help others. That's an awesome lesson that everyone needs to learn. And Lisa says, yes, April, grief is just horrible. My goal is to live the rest of my life trying to help others. That's what Tristan would want me to do. I want to honor him and keep his memory alive. I think I feel pretty confident in saying that Tristan would also want you to have a good time. He'd want you to find a good time in what you're doing, find reward in what you're doing that that matters. Sorry, I'm looking at this guy who's being interviewed on News Nation, and I'd swear it is Ron Howard if his career went another direction. Anyway, Kristen says, Brad, I feel like I don't want to live either. That is the recovering addict plight on how to enjoy life now that we've been separated from family and AA due to their violence. Kimberly says our memories of children lives matters, and they do. And what keeps those memories alive is sharing them, not not just on the Texas Pictures YouTube channel, but sharing them whenever you get the chance, whenever you get an appropriate kind of chance. It is honoring your loved one, and it's amplifying your loved one's value by spreading the message to new people. Brad said, please don't tell me I don't want to live. It just breaks my heart to hear that. Yeah, it breaks my heart too. It's a hard thing to hear. And I hear that from bereaved parents pretty often. And it makes me feel helpless that there's nothing I can do. I don't know. It's a tough thing to hear, but and you just it makes me feel helpless for sure. Elizabeth Boyster, too much guilt to have fun. Brad, I don't think so. I think it's something you get through. Yeah, you do. You have to. You have to get through, and maybe get through it. Get throughing. Maybe getting through it isn't the right term. You have to you have to push through it, or you have to learn how to embrace it. You have to do something to move forward. Kimberly says, "I like to share my story." That's 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 awesome. It is critically important to share your story. Everybody grows when someone shares a story. Everybody, everybody who hears it, every life the story touches, they grow. It's being part of the village to share your story. Hey Susan, you have to wake up. What? Did I miss something? Someone doze off. Brad says, I know Carla has three other kids, and I guarantee they all feel the pain. So, Brad, it's hard to say the kinds of ways that they grow from feeling that pain. They may develop a kind of insight that they otherwise wouldn't have. Their life may go on a pathway that helps others that they otherwise might not be aware was an option. So there can be something powerful good about it. Lee says, I have that fear too with I have this fear too, Gigi, with my daughter. And April says, I lost it. I am so sorry, Gigi. Kristen says, I just joined choir at St. Mary's so I can be distracted during holidays because family in addiction and there is no family, broken home full of verbal and physical violence. Wow, Kristen. Um, uh, um, hate that. Um, some of our storytellers really get carried away with the ums. So when I catch myself doing it, it bugs me just a bit. Anyway, instead of you can just say nothing. So we do have this idea for a series called the idea is to call the series Messages Home. And that the way that we would develop the content for this series is when we go to a location, we devote a day or so to a some type of shelter or some place that provide people with some temporary protection, temporary housing, whatever, and give those people a chance to in our same typical kind of interview environment, give them a chance to say something that they just would love for their family to know. Could be anything. Messages home. It seems like that could be something that a lot of people could learn from. So the missing persons report, that's a challenge because of her age. More so because of her age than being a known addict, I would think. Connection and love is the opposite of addiction. Yeah, I think I think that was a bug. Connection and love is the opposite of addiction. Connection is the opposite of addiction. I think that's 100% accurate. If you have someone you're connected to and someone who's supportive of you and you're accountable to, those kind of things help keep you on the sober pathway. Gigi says, Lisa, I tried to do a report January last year, the first time she went missing, and they didn't do nothing. I went through three different city departments and the sheriff, and all they gave me was the runaround. Well, that's unfortunate. That's shameful that they didn't do more. But we do hear those stories a lot. And then once in a while, we also hear someone talk about how tough the job is and how it's a thankless job that they're doing That's nonsense. Is it some sort of shock what the job responsibilities entail? Did did they not expect that? Ooh, I didn't know doing this job I'd have to deal with all of this grief. Poor me. That's no defense. Quit. Find another job. Quit whining and man up. Yeah, it's a thankless job. Well, get out of it. You can quit. Yeah, then I give up my yeah, then I give up my pension. Pension? It's great that you have a pension. Most Americans do not. What an ingrate. Maybe that was a little harsh. Okay. But I have no tolerance for that. That's just making excuses. Yeah, it's a thankless job. First off, we've done a lot of work with law enforcement. Over here, I have like 5 commendations from the Houston Police Department for humanitarian work, community service, stuff like that. We have worked with the police department a lot for over 15 years. And it's not a thankless job. A simple thing. I have a lot of friends that are in law enforcement, and I've worked with a lot of law enforcement. And in the course of working with them, we'll wind up having lunch at a restaurant somewhere while working on or dinner or whatever. And more times than not, someone else in the restaurant who does not know us will pick up the tab for our table. Most of the time, I'm the only one who's sitting there who's not a cop, but it happens a lot. And all the cops that are out there know that happens a lot. So when they say, oh, it's a thankless job, what are you saying about those people who pick up all those meals? There's other stuff that happens too. There's a lot of places where cops get the same discount as military does, where vets do, first responders do. So don't be a whiner. Shut up. Quit if you think it's so tough. Or quit spending all that free time on your extra job. April says, no, we won't ever be that happy. A piece of us is missing before been it should have been the other way around and they were poison. That's just different. You start to question your self worth. Well, you're looking at it wrong. If you start to question your self worth, I don't I don't see that. That there's a book and movie called Five People You Meet in Heaven. And any of you that are actively involved in doing any kind of thing to help the community or protect the community, any of that, you guys should watch that movie, read that book. Five People You Meet in Heaven. Gigi, I'm going to leave because this is too much for me. I'm sorry. I said I send prayers and love to everyone, and my prayers are with you. Well, thank you for joining us, Gigi. Is there? I hope I didn't say anything to make you feel like you need to get away. So help me understand if there if the event goes down the wrong road, what road does it does it need to go down? What road is better for it to go down? Because I would love you, everyone should want to improve, and I would love to find ways to make this better. Carla says you're an amazing person, April. Yes, you are. And Lisi is asking about the book. Are you asking about the book that I brought up? Five People You Meet in Heaven. That's the book I was bringing up. Brad says that's what I mean. I woke up with a text that said, "Rain's dead. I'm done." Since that day, my heart hurts has hurt, and I wish somehow Carla could have some type of happiness in her life. Wow. Huh. Well, Brad, I can help you with that. I can try to help you with that. Totally game to help you with that. When I see Carla earlier on in the live event, Carla Carla put a chat message that had a laughing emoji. And I'm pretty sure she was laughing at you, Brad, but just that little just the stupid little emoji and seeing it just enlightened my heart. Just those little things. Oh, there's a good question. Does Carla like to sing? Carla Carla seems like she would like to sing. The lesson is find love somewhere beside in your blood family. Carla, do you like video production? I can help you with that. All right, folks. Is Brenda here? Have we heard from Brenda? It seems like we did early on, and then it got quiet, like she's skulking around and not speaking up. Kristen says I go to Bible study where people don't threaten my life in my town. Wow, Kristen, that sounds kind of scary. Lots of churches out there do have these wonderful groups. They're called life groups or something like that. And they're groups where people just kind of get together and do life a bit together. And it's a really cool thing. Our kids like to sing. Huh. That should put a little smile on her face. Anyway, folks, it's been a long day, and uh, so it is going to be time to wrap things up. Uh, I'm just looking at what else going on here. We have been live for a little over an hour, hour and 7 minutes right now. Gosh, what? Okay, that should put a smile on. Brad says I had Carla go to grief share, and she wouldn't go unless I attended. So of course I went, as you should, Brad. That's being a dad. If I was anywhere close, I'd go to. Brad, you and me, we could like sit in the back of the room and cut up while, yeah, maybe I could see it happening. I'm not saying it'd be a good thing. Be pretty irresponsible, pretty immature, uh, but it could happen. Thank you, Kimberly. Kristen, I helped too many. No, I don't. I don't think you can do that. I don't think you can help too many people. I helped too many people all over the world, women and men. I took people through the step work to help them find a higher power and get off drugs permanently. You can't you can't help too many people. Maybe it's just maybe it just takes rethinking what you're doing. You can't help too many people. I don't think. Glenn, what what year did you come to Memphis? Wow, I think it was during COVID. I don't get what I'm seeing here. Sorry. Yeah, it was during COVID. We were there for a couple of days. Allie says good night to everyone. Good night, Allie, Brad. So are you going to the DC rally? I don't think so. I'm going to be on the road somewhere. We're going to we're going to Tennessee and then Tennessee, North Carolina, Kansas, South Carolina. Yeah, I know. We have a globe, have a map. I know how the United States looks. And then maybe back to Memphis and I don't know where else. Memphis, South Carolina. North Carolina, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kansas, but not in an order that makes sense at all. Yes. No excuses, Glenn. You're making me tired, Brad. My son knows you. He remembers you from Memphis. Hmm. Interesting. AA is good therapy. Gosh, you guys are just going like gangbusters now. So Kristen says AA is group therapy. I learned a lot from other people. I got tons help from outside rooms with my writing step work to help me change. There is lots of help out there that works all kind of ways. Some help that helps some people and doesn't work with others. They just haven't found their key yet. Cindy said, "You're coming to South Carolina?" Yeah. Uh, I don't know where in South Carolina. Let me see if I can figure it out. Because I may be able to do that. Lexington, maybe. Do I take daily vitamins that contain biotin? Could be. I don't. What do I need to know about biotin? April says good night and thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's late where you're at, right, April? Uh, Brenda's been quiet tonight. Brenda says, "What you take for granted, someone else is praying for. God bless." That's wonderful. What you take for granted, someone else is praying for. And the message to that is be grateful. It's a wonderful message. Hmm. I'm seeing the number of people in the group just continuously climb. So, oh yeah, okay. I wasn't given shelter or food because I was a nicotine addict. My family felt that I wasn't allowed to have children until I quit smoking cigarettes. The abuse started with the cigarette. Brad says, "What should I tell Trump why you couldn't make it?" Well, I'm sure he'll call me and I'll come up with some excuse. I really appreciate you guys a lot. All of you. You really, the way that we come together as a community and we're supportive of each other. That it's part of the magic that happens in those other kinds of groups like AA or what was the new one that I learned about today? Oh, what was it? Hmm. Place of God, He is giving us life. Kristen says recovery is a thankless job. That's how you know the love is real. If you get paid to do the job, it's not real. Yeah, yeah, I think I could get behind that. That sounds reasonable. Yeah, yeah, Brad, that's it. And my mom says, "Tell Trump that Glenn is out trying to save lives." That's my mom. Senny says, "All Angels Anonymous. That doesn't sound right. There was a, I think it had the word recovery in it. Ah, you guys. All right, so it is getting pretty late. I know it's after 10 o'clock where April is. Okay, folks. So it really is about time to wrap it up. I keep I keep trying. I do. And then off we go. That's Kristen says that's what the old timers teach us about recovery. We give it away for free. You can't keep your recovery without giving it away. Okay, so old timers know stuff. They can't not know stuff because they're old timers. Kimberly says, blessed night to everyone. So there will be one more live event before the trip. I bel Maybe not. No, no, probably not. Too much going on. Ah, food recipes. Yeah, I suppose eating would be. Uh, I suppose eating would be one way to deal with stuff. So April says we would like a coffee cup like that. Me and Carla. Thank you, Glenn, for doing the short. Really appreciate you. So April, and with full disclosure, Carla already has a mug. So it takes some sort of other get together to get a mug. Or, you can order them off of our merchandise store on our website. Anyway, I gave Carla a mug when we got together in Oklahoma City. We had a pretty a good sized get together. Carla was there, Brad was there, Brenda was there, other people were there, and everybody got a tumbler. See, there we go. Texas Pictures tumbler. And and I had a mug for Carla because at the time Carla was always bringing up the mugs in the live events. You got a tumbler, Brad, didn't you? I only had two coffee mugs because they're expensive, because they're self cleaning. But I only had two, and I felt like I had to keep one. Yeah, I had to leave early. It's, it's not your fault at all. When is this DC event, Brad? We'll have to figure out a way to hook you up. The shirts are a challenge. I can tell you that. I want one of those. When are you speaking? Are you going to be speaking in DC, Brad? Really? When is that going to happen? 18th or 19th. I believe I'm going to be in North Carolina, maybe South Carolina. I don't know, but I think North Carolina. Brianna says a mistrial was declared in a murder trial today in Mississippi. Father allegedly killed daughter's boyfriend for financial gain. We can find a way to hook you up, April. It was just a last minute thing. So I'm just sitting here reading what you guys have to say. This is interesting. So, killed her daughter's boyfriend for financial gain. Jackson, Mississippi. Okay. I know a restaurant in Jackson, Mississippi. Shapley's. It's a very cool place. And it's cool to me because I go there with a friend from high school. He has a business there, and I have known him since probably fifth grade. So you moved from Fort Myers, Florida, to Jackson, Mississippi. Well, what did you expect? So, uh, have you looked into moving or where you'd like to move? That would be the starting point if you want to get back to Dallas or Fort Myers or something like that. Susan Boyer, awesome steak and crab claws. Is that Shapley's that you're referring to? Back to Florida or back to Dallas? I was born here, Susan. My nephew lives in Jackson, Mississippi as well. All right, folks, but we're going to try this again. By this time we're going to get there. So, I will be posting updates as we can on YouTube and on Facebook. And so, anyway, thank you all very much for being here. I am very grateful. And as always, we like to remind everyone just how how important you guys are, how important it is for you guys to understand that you can always reach out to us. Poor thing, I feel for your nephew. He's having a great time. He's doing well and having a great time. Yeah, I don't know where Nux is. Enjoyed it very much too. I'm very glad, very glad to have you guys here. Very grateful, and looking forward to the next time. And remember, folks, you can always reach out to us. You can just always reach out to us. And so the way to, if you can avoid the gunfire. Hmm. April says, thank you, everyone. Remember to carry naloxone so you can save a life. How easy is that? Watch the cartoon. It was an insane amount of work. So please watch the cartoon on our channel about how to administer naloxone. Huh. So, but remember, we are here for you guys. You can always reach out to us. So you can email us at info at texas-pictures.com. You can find us on Facebook under my name, Glenn Muse, or under the Texas Pictures company name. We both have pages. As Susanna, I will tell Sherry hello. We have a TikTok page that someone has decided to create a Facebook page based on material that they steal off of our TikTok page. Well, that's a whole other story. And you can also learn more about us from our website, texas-pictures.com, where you can find more information about the company Texas Pictures. You can find a link to our merchandise store with the t-shirts and the coffee mugs and all that other cool stuff. And you can find out more information about having a storytelling summit in your area, stuff like that. And there is more ways to get in touch with us. There is uh, our mailing address, website. I'm sorry. There's our mailing address and phone number and all that cool stuff. So I want to thank you folks once again for being here and having such a wonderful turnout on this live event. And we look forward to seeing you guys again sometime soon. So good night for now.